Hello students, YouTube learners. This is Dr. Satish Singhal, PhD from El Camino College, Computer Science Department in California. Today I'm here to discuss video 1 of multidimensional arrays. So basically data can be stored in collections, simulated in 2 or 3 dimensions or even more dimensions. And let's talk about 2 or 3 dimensions first. We could consider a data table with numbers only, like a two-dimensional array which has rows and columns. So in Excel, if you type some numbers in rows and columns, that would be an example of two-dimensional array. Or you can have table of names and addresses and other textual information that can also be considered a two-dimensional array of strings. Okay. Now let's imagine you had a transparent Rubik's cube where every subcube was visible and it had a number in each cube or a string in each cube. Well, that would be an example of a three-dimensional array. Okay, so each time we are adding a dimension, we are going into a different geometrical space. Now, this example of viewing aids for multiple dimensional arrays, but to make a mental picture more coding worthy, we now need to discuss the implements that are available in C++ language for creating, populating, and iterating multidimensional arrays. And first of all, we're going to do that for two-dimensional array. And somewhere along the line, I'm going to show you also the code in Xcode, where we start with a two-dimensional array, we fill one of its row, and we do some computations with that. Okay, so what are two-dimensional arrays? They are collection of components, all same data type, structured two dimension. So horizontal dimension will be called a row, and each vertical dimension will be called a column, rows and columns. And how you access each one is in one dimensional you access with one index. In two dimensional you're going to access them with a pair of index. First index would be the row number, second index would be the column number. And we'll show you how that is done. The declaration syntax is this. First you give the data type that you would for any single dimension array or multiple. So first two items are same. Data type and then the name of the array variable. Now in one dimensional array you just had one square bracket and a constant integral expression inside. For two-dimensional array you will have one more. So just like in one-dimensional array this was a row, it still is a row here, but now you added the column. Okay, but then row in that case will go row number 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, and column, so row will go from top to bottom and column will go from left to right. Now if you add more dimensions, third dimension, fourth, fifth, you can actually go up to 7, although it's hard to imagine what that would mean geometrically. Three dimension we can think of a Rubik's cube, so you can just keep adding those extra dimensions. Okay, so you need to provide two brackets, each one has the dimension in it. Okay, so now let's assume that we need to keep data on highest temperature for all the months for 50 American states. So there are 50 American states and 12 months. So we'll need 50 rows and 12 columns, one for each month. So each row will represent the state and each one will represent a column. So you can say, okay, how am I going to represent state in a number? So this is what we do. We make a list of states alphabetically and assign them numbers 0 to 49, 0 for Alabama, 1 for Alaska, 2 for Arizona, and so on. And last one is, I think, Wyoming, so that will be 49. And same way, we assign numbers 0 to January, 2 to February, no, number 1, that was a mistake, to February and so on. So December will be 11. So in that case, we show declaration and schematic picture of such an array here below. So example, to keep monthly high temperature for all 50 states. My declaration as constants will be const int num states 50, const int num months equals 12, and my array declaration using these two constants would be int state highs, if that's the name of the array, num states, that's number of rows, num months, number of columns, and we can view this declaration that we did here in this form. Months are assigned in order from 0 for January and so on, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then we have states 0, 1, Arizona will be 2, I think 1 is Alaska, Alabama, should be Alabama actually, Alabama, Alaska, and then Arizona. And last one would be Wyoming. So imagine that we fill highest temperature in each month for Arizona. So this cell here will be state highs 2, 7. 2 means Arizona. 2 shows me the row for Arizona. 7 shows the month. Okay, so that will be 8 months. So month of August. Okay. So state highs 7 will be storing temperature, highest temperature in Arizona in August. Obviously, you'll have to pick a year. It might vary from year to year. And that we don't show in the array itself. You'll have to keep record of that somewhere else. Now, this representation in 2 dimensions is just a conceptual. RAM does not store it in this manner. In actual RAM, the arrangement will be like this. If we take 2 bytes for each array cell, and starting address is 8000, then 12 months will be 24. So 8000 to address 824 will be 12 high temperatures for state 0, which is Alabama. That's my first row. Then 24 to 48 will be 12 high temperatures for Alaska, which is the second row, then third row, fourth row, and you'll go all the way up to last 50th row, which will be for Wyoming. Now already you can see how much contiguous space is being used. And if your memory is fragmented and your array is very large, you may not get enough memory to store data in the one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array like this. Because inside the RAM it has to be stored contiguously. So that nature has not changed. Arrays require contiguous allocation. You can look at the storage of rows in this manner, or another manner will be vertically down. State high 0, 0 is this, 0, 1 is this, 0, 2 is this, and up to here is Alabama, then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, Alaska and Arizona and so on. Okay? So we're going to show this in Xcode now. Like find the average for, let's go up a little bit, for this row, and we're going to show that in Xcode now. So, okay, it's right here. Let's take a look at it. So I have num states 50, num months 12. Size t is just a unsigned int. It cannot be negative. And here's my declaration that I showed you earlier in the Word document. Number of rows, number of columns. This means I'm setting 0 in all the array cells. These are the same numbers that we saw in the Word document here, like this one, same numbers. Okay, so we want to find average highest temperature of all the months in Arizona, which is 2. So I'm doing 20 means this is highest temperature in month of January in Arizona, February, December. Okay. So what would be the technique? I take this row number 2, vary over the number of columns, and just sum of all the temperatures, divide by 12, gets me the average. So this is the interesting thing. I'm summing over the columns because it would be first column, second column, third column, fourth, fifth, like that. So I'm summing, of course I can just sum them up like this plus this plus, but array is loop is a little bit easier. So I set in total to 0 and sum up from 0 to less than num months, which will be actually 11, and I plus plus, and I sum them up all up. That'll be sum of all these, and then I get the average cast to int, take this total, divide that by 12.0, so I do get the floating point division, add 0.5 to it, and then cast the whole thing to int type, and I print that. This code you should view more carefully, and I will upload this one separately so you'll have it. So let's just run it, and it should be 85, and average monthly highest temperature for Arizona is 85, and that's the way it should be in my document. Yeah, you can do this yourself. Sum of all these, divide by 12.0, add 0.5, cast to int type, throw away the fraction, it'll be about 85. So that's the use of one of the row of multidimensional array, two-dimensional array is there. Now I could fill up this entire array for all states, all months, and then get average of all the states. Okay, so let's jump to that code. I'm not going to do that in Xcode because I don't have monthly highest temperature for all the states, but I'll show you how to do that. So we'll have to jump through a lot of pages here. I may have to jump through all this also. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to do that a little differently because it involves passing array to a function. Although I could show you the code in Xcode right now. Uh, can I do that? Yeah, suppose I could. This will be loop within a loop, but I don't have the data, so there's not much point doing it in Xcode. So I'll cover this in the second video where passing the arrays, multidimensional array to a function. So first one, this introductory video, I'm just gonna end right here. I have some other topic like random access into dimensional array. But I think we'll end this video, the introductory video, right here. Thanks for watching, and I might do 2 more video on this, or maybe just 1 more. So I'll see you in future videos. Thank you.